Qingyi's true value is not her stun capabilities in Zenless Zone 0, but rather her damage amp she provides for her team. Welcome to my channel, my name is Qingyi and I'll be your host today. In less than a week from now, many players will be pulling for Qingyi in Zenless Zone 0, and I am already seeing many of these players believe she will be the stun character they need to save their account, but in reality, Qingyi's true value is not the speed she can stun enemies. In fact, compared to other stunners in the game currently, she either matches their stun speed or is sometimes even slightly behind in certain situations, as my friend Jello has shown that even a character such as Ambi can actually beat Qingyi in terms of stunning some enemies quicker. So a lot of people will hear and see this and start to think, then what's the point of a new stun agent if they don't even stun faster than the others? This is very simple, as what Qingyi lacks in terms of stun speed, she makes up for in terms of damage amp for her team through her core passive, Internal Seasons. This core passive allows Qingyi to apply stacks to the enemy called subjugation, and the more stacks they have, the higher the stun damage multiplier will be once they are dazed. And once this core passive is at max level, this damage increase can reach up to 60%. When comparing this to another stun agent that can also increase the stun damage multiplier, such as Lycan, and we can see at max level, Qingyi can actually reach 25% higher than Lycan, and this is a significant increase for everyone outside of L and Joe, as Lycan can also greatly reduce ice resistance for L and Joe. And combined with the stun damage increase, this will beat out Qingyi's buff unless you have her signature W engine Ice J teapot, which can further increase teammates' damage. But with this, we can see that Qingyi is a stun agent that once the enemy is stunned can provide a very nice damage increase for your DPS. When you stack a support's buff on top of Qingyi's, you now have 2 character passives, W engines, and even drive disc sets, all potentially buffing your DPS at the exact same time, leading to a massive burst potential. And speaking of burst, this is where a character such as Zhu Yuan now comes into play, as Zhu Yuan is the current queen of burst damage in Zenless Zone 0 when the enemy is dazed. But if you were to run double supports, then it'd be extremely hard, if not impossible, to have good uptime on both of their buffs while the enemy is dazed. So having a stun agent like Qingyi will freely let Zhu Yuan be buffed by Qingyi's core passive, Nicole's core passive, Nicole's W engine, the 4-piece swing jazz set, and if you are able to attain it, also Qingyi's W engine. And because this is a team that also triggers Zhu Yuan's core passive, your Zhu Yuan in total receives 30% crit rate, 199% damage bonus, and 40% defense shred while the enemy is stunned, allowing your Zhu Yuan to decimate any enemy that is stunned and not resistant to ether damage in the game. So when I see all this, it tells me they did not want to design Qingyi around stunning enemies faster than every other stun agent in the game, but rather make her give more to the team once the enemy is stunned, as her damage amplification can be the difference between finishing a boss off before they recover from being stunned. However though, this leaves Qingyi in a weird spot, as she is most definitely a strong agent, but what she brings to the table is not heavily needed at the current moment in the game, as while using her I can definitely say I can feel the damage increase she gives, especially to characters such as Zhu Yuan and Anton. I've never been in a fight where I felt it saved me a lot of time in the end. Maybe the most significant one was 10 to 12 seconds, but most of the time it only felt like 3 or 4. And even then, sometimes the enemies actually died at pretty much the exact same time, because the damage threshold needed wasn't high enough that Qingyi's damage increase made a difference. However, there is still time before she releases, so much of this information can potentially change. But as of right now, Qingyi is a strong character with a low pull value for most accounts. If you believe you have to have a second stun agent, this is false, as there are many teams that do not require a stun agent at all to be very successful. If you believe she'll outclass your Ambi in every single way, this is also false, because Ambi is still more than fine to have as your stun agent. If you're a Zhu Yuan main, and you think you have to get her, or your Zhu Yuan will fall behind, this is not true, as I will agree Qingyi is an upgrade for Zhu Yuan, but she is not a necessity at all for your Zhu Yuan to still be one of the best DPS in the game. Qingyi in her current form is more of a luxury character rather than a necessity. She will benefit and round out your account if you have the necessary pulls to do so. Otherwise, I would say her overall pull value as of right now is a 5 out of 10, and maybe a 6 out of 10 if you have Zhu Yuan. Yes, you will feel the upgrade, but the upgrade is most likely not needed. And with characters such as Jane Doe coming, and fan favorite Miyabi coming in the game in the foreseeable future, I think players need to be very careful with their wishes. But this is not to dissuade anyone who does like Qingyi, as she will serve you very well if you do choose to get her. But to the players on the fence about getting her, I would say to continue to look and see more information before getting her, and making sure that you can get the most out of your Qingyi before you pull her, as I would hate for anyone to summon a character that they will not enjoy to use soon after. Qingyi is a fine character, the way she is now, and can potentially become even more valuable in the future with new content released in Zenless Zone 0. But let me remind you all to make sure you check me out on Twitter at Qingyi7th, join the Discord for future giveaways, and be sure to subscribe for more Zenless Zone 0 content. And as always, my name is Qingyi7th, and with that, signing out.